We all live in social society. We have jobs that we're going to, and it depending whether it's one person in the office or 101 people in the office, the more people that you're around, the more you're going to be influenced by the things that other people are just doing for themselves in their day-to-day life. This is Katie Gordon, and you're listening to the Wait is Over podcast. Welcome, health and freedom seekers. Sit back and relax as you come on this journey of overcoming obstacles so you can lose weight, gain health, and live the life you've been looking for. Hello, freedom seekers, and welcome to this week's show. I'm your host, Katie Gordon, and the wait is over with Dietless Living 360 degrees. There's no recipes, no food regimes or exercise programs to follow. This is simply about how to take your life back, how to take control. Because we all have a voice and we want to be heard. We want to forget about dieting, focus on living, and lose weight. And to do that, we need to develop our personal health leadership skills so we can find our freedom through a new state of mind, a state of mind that moves us beyond the obstacles and challenges of life and our own unconscious programs, because that's ultimately what's impacting on our weight and health and causing habit relapse. And the purpose of this podcast is to share with you what I learned over 25 years in dieting hell and spending over $100,000 working out how to step into dietless living. And I'm sure that you already know this, but the environment that we live in and the social circles that we travel in all have a significant impact on our chances of reaching our weight loss and our health goals. Because the social circles that we're in influence our behaviors and habits because they influence our thoughts and our feelings, and it's our thoughts and feelings that are all sort of behind driving our habits and behaviors. Some people are really unsupportive and they will actively throw spanners into the works and try and derail our good intentions for achieving weight loss. I can remember a certain person, two people in fact, that would actively throw spanners into the work. So I had one friend that the moment that she knew or suspected that I was on some kind of a weight loss program, trying to lose weight or just trying to improve my eating habit and say no to cakes and lollies and all those kinds of things, would actively be bringing cakes to work and offering them to me, would be let's go for lunch or a coffee, and she would have a cake and offering it to me. And if I said, no, thanks, I don't want that, she would actively push it across the table to be in front of me and, go on, constantly cajoling me to have the cake. Go on, have a piece. What's one mouthful? One mouthful won't matter. Go on, it's so delicious. So she was very hard to be around in those times. And at that time, I didn't really understand that there was a problem here, and I really should have stepped away from either the friendship or just seeing her in those times when I was quite vulnerable. So there are people that will actively throw a spanner into the works, and that's fine. And, just as a little sidebar on those kinds of people, I just came to the realization that they're not really misbehaving. They're not doing something with intention to hurt you or to hurt me. They're just people that are following their own unconscious programs and are very much asleep and unaware that they are doing something that is hurtful to somebody else. It's not personal. It's about them and who they are and who they think they are and who they need other people to be so that they can feel safe and secure in their world. That's not to say that we put up with bad behavior from anyone, because that's definitely not what I'm saying. It's just to say that you can remove the personal aspect of it. They're not attacking you personally. They're just following an unconscious program, which provides you with an opportunity to proactively problem solve it in a very rational logical way rather than having your ego involved and your emotional self involved, which causes other kinds of reactions. So that's just all that is. However, being around these people is something that influences you because they will always be there in the outer skirts. If it's somebody that you spend a lot of time with, like on a day-to-day basis, if it's somebody in your home, then this is something that's constantly clouding in on your own unconscious thoughts, feelings, and behaviors. And so you do need to take some proactive steps there to not protect yourself. That sounds more like something that, they're doing against you on purpose, but it's a way of securing yourself in your knowledge and goals. And that's where we talked about in another podcast. It's about having that really clear vision and defined goals and a compelling reason that makes it so much easier for you to stay on path. That's really what it comes down to, is your motivation and clarity of your thoughts, your compelling reason why and where you're heading. That's what keeps you on path. If you're a bit wishy-washy, you're not really sure, that's where these other kinds of things can pull you off and influence you. So back to other kinds of people in our social circles that influence us. So there are people that actively support us and we love them because they know what we're trying to do. They are actively interested in what we're doing. They're actively trying to support us. They're asking questions. How are you going? What can I do to support you? If you go and see them, they go for a walk and talk rather than let's go to the coffee shop kind of a friend. They're actively there supporting you and wanting you to be successful, and their actions show it. So their behavior, being around them, is influencing your chances of reaching your goals in a positive way. There are also people who really do support us in wanting us to achieve our goals. However, they don't do any of that good stuff. They just say, yes, that's lovely. I'm very happy for you. Go, girl, go. You go, you get in there and you lose the weight. But they don't actively acknowledge when you're creating success. They don't ask to meet you for a walk and talk. They still, either oblivious to the fact that a meeting at the coffee shop is not supporting the goal. They're not openly encouraging. They're not openly actually asking about how it's going, how are you feeling, what can they do to help you. And they're not providing a platform for improvement. And whilst they're not actively causing us challenges, they're non-engagement and non-interest in our success will actually influence on our direct ability to achieve our goal. So it's very important to think about who you're hanging around with when you're actively creating changes in your own behavior. And there's also just peer group pressure. So we all live in social society. We have jobs that we're going to, and depending whether it's one person in the office or 101 people in the office, the more people that you're around, the more you're going to be influenced by the things that other people are just doing for themselves in their day-to-day life. Even if they're not actually applying pressure to you, just being around people, just going to the supermarkets, just going past cafes, just going to the markets. These are all things that really come under peer group pressure. And it's the cultural norms that we have to be aware of that are all influencing anything that we're trying to do, positively or negatively. And it's the prevalence of unhealthy options in our surroundings, and they are everywhere. In fact, I defy you to find really healthy options that are fast and ready to go. If it's a pre-made anything, it's literally going to be somewhere on a scale of 1 to, let's just keep it simple, 1 to 10 for health. 10 being, your worst, up somewhere around your pre-made burgers and all of that stuff, down to 1 where maybe it's a juice bar or something, but still you're going to think about what it is that you're consuming. And all of these things coupled together can make it really difficult to adopt and maintain brand new healthy habits and behaviors. And when you just couple all of that in with easy access to unhealthy foods, sedentary lifestyles, these are the things that we have to, be aware of. Make a list. Okay, these are the problems I'm going to have to overcome. These are the challenges. These are the obstacles in my day-to-day life. How am I going to address all of this as I move forward with my own weight loss program, with my desire to change my behaviors, with my desire to find my freedom from myself? And that's what personal health leadership skills are all about. It's about understanding your 3 systems of health consciousness, so you understand you and how you're reacting to all of these things in your environment. Because it's all of these things in your environment, they're going to be there forever. And it's us. We have to change. We have to be able to modulate our own behaviors, our own thoughts, our own feelings, and how we think, feel, and deal with all of this in our life. And we do that through building the personal health leadership skills, because it's how we influence our own behavior that ultimately is going to have the biggest impact on how we overcome all these things that are trying to impact us. And that's why I keep saying it is your life, and you really do need to be involved in how it turns out so that you can find your freedom. If you enjoyed today's show, please subscribe, leave a comment, and share it with your friends. And if you want more help with this, just book in for a private consultation today, and let's just get it done this week, because life is for living, and an ounce of adjustment is always easier to implement than 20 pounds of change. It's time to find your freedom and enjoy the life you've been looking for.